Hey there, horror fans. Welcome back to Silent Screams, your go-to channel for the most bone-chilling tales of terror. Tonight, we're diving into a story that'll make you think twice about those innocent-looking business opportunities. So grab your favorite blanket, turn off the lights, and prepare to enter the pyramid of nightmares. Let's begin. I never thought I'd be telling this story. Hell, I never thought I'd live to tell it. But here I am, hiding in a dingy motel room, paranoid that they'll find me at any moment. I guess I should start at the beginning, back when I was just another struggling single mom trying to make ends meet. It all began with a Facebook message from an old high school friend, Melissa. We hadn't spoken in years, but her profile was filled with pictures of exotic vacations and designer clothes. When she reached out saying she had an amazing business opportunity for me, I was intrigued. "Hey Sarah, long time no see." Smiling face with smiling as I couldn't help but notice your recent post about struggling to pay bills. "I think I have the perfect solution for you. Why don't we grab coffee and catch up? I'd love to tell you about how I turned my life around." Looking back, I should have seen the red flags. But desperation has a way of blinding you to the obvious. We met at a local cafe, and Melissa's enthusiasm was infectious. She told me about a company called Dream Life Enterprises, which sold essential oils and supplements. The product sounded great, but what really caught my attention was the business model. "Sarah, imagine being your own boss, working from home, and making more money than you ever dreamed possible," Melissa said, her eyes gleaming with an almost maniacal intensity. "All you need to do is invest in a starter kit and start sharing these amazing products with your friends and family. Before you know it, you'll have your own team and the money will start rolling in." I hesitated, mentioning that I didn't have much savings. Melissa's smile never faltered as she leaned in close, her voice dropping to a whisper. "That's the beauty of it, Sarah. Dream Life is more than just a company, it's a family. We take care of our own. I can front you the money for the starter kit. You'll pay me back in no time, I promise." Against my better judgment, I agreed. That night, as I signed the contract and watched Melissa process my credit card for the starter kit, I felt a chill run down my spine. For a split second, I could have sworn I saw something different reflected in her eyes. Something dark and hungry. But I blinked and it was gone. The first few weeks were a whirlwind of activity. I threw myself into learning about the product, practicing my sales pitch, and reaching out to everyone I knew. At first, a few friends made pity purchases, but soon the well ran dry. I found myself spending more and more time in online groups, desperately trying to drum up leads. One night, as I sat at my kitchen table surrounded by unsold inventory, my daughter Emma tugged at my sleeve. "Mommy, I'm hungry. Can we have dinner now?" I looked at the clock, shocked to realize it was already past 9 p.m. I'd been so focused on trying to make a sale that I'd completely forgotten to feed her. As I heated up some canned soup, I felt a wave of shame wash over me. What kind of mother was I becoming? That's when things started to get strange. I began having vivid nightmares of being trapped in an endless maze of mirrors, each reflection showing a more desperate and haggard version of myself. I'd wake up in a cold sweat, my heart racing, only to find mysterious bruises on my arms and legs. One afternoon, while I was on a video call with my upline, the group of people above me in the Dream Life hierarchy, I noticed something odd. As Janet, my direct sponsor, was speaking, her face seemed to glitch. For a fraction of a second, her features distorted into something inhuman, with two sharp teeth and pitch black eyes. I gasped, and she paused. "Everything okay, Sarah?" Janet asked, her voice dripping with concern that didn't quite reach her eyes. I thought I saw. I stammered, unable to articulate what I'd witnessed. Janet's smile widened just a touch too far. Oh, sweetie, you're probably just tired from working so hard. Remember, success requires sacrifice. Why don't you grab an energy shot from your inventory? It'll perk you right up. I nodded numbly, ending the call with shaking hands. As I reached for one of the energy shots, I hesitated. The liquid inside the small bottle seemed to swirl and pulse, almost as if it were alive. I blinked hard, and it was back to normal. Just my imagination running wild, I told myself. But the strange occurrences kept piling up. Products I was sure I'd sold reappeared in my inventory. Contacts I'd sworn I'd never added showed up in my phone. And always, there was the pressure to recruit. Sarah, you're so close to hitting the next rank. Melissa would say during our weekly check-ins. Just 2 more team members and you'll be a Ruby star. Think of the bonuses, the recognition. You don't want to let your team down, do you? I threw myself into recruitment with renewed fervor, ignoring the growing pit in my stomach. I started targeting old classmates, distant relatives, even strangers in the grocery store. Anything to hit that next rank and prove I wasn't a failure. One night, after a particularly grueling day of rejection, I collapsed into bed, utterly exhausted. As I drifted off to sleep, I heard a faint whisper. Join us, Sarah. Become one with the pyramid. I bolted upright, heart pounding. The room was pitch black, save for a faint, pulsing glow coming from the closet where I stored my dream life inventory. With trembling hands, I reached for the light switch, but nothing happened. The whispers grew louder, a cacophony of voices promising wealth, success, and belonging. Suddenly, my bedroom door burst open. Emma stood there, her small frame silhouetted against the hallway light. Mommy, what's happening? Why are there people in our house? Before I could respond, a hand reached out from the darkness behind her, pulling her back into the hallway. I screamed and lunged forward, but invisible forces held me in place. The closet door slowly creaked open, revealing a swirling vortex of darkness. From within the vortex, faces began to emerge, distorted, nightmarish versions of my upline, their mouths stretched into impossible grins. Janet's voice, now a guttural growl, echoed through the room. You're one of us now, Sarah. There's no escaping the pyramid. Your daughter will make an excellent addition to our team. I thrashed against my invisible bonds, desperate to reach Emma. No, leave her alone. Take me instead. The faces in the vortex laughed, a sound like breaking glass and screaming wind. Melissa's voice joined the chorus, dripping with false sweetness. Oh, Sarah, don't you see? We already have you. Your soul belongs to Dream Life. But don't worry, soon you won't even remember why you were fighting it. I felt a tugging sensation, as if hooks had lodged themselves in my very being. As I was slowly dragged toward the vortex, I caught a glimpse of Emma being led down the stairs by shadowy figures. Her eyes were blank, a placid smile frozen on her face. No. I screamed, clawing at the air. Emma, wake up. Run. But it was too late. As the darkness enveloped me, I heard one final whisper. Welcome to the family, Sarah. Your journey to the top of the pyramid begins now. I don't know how long I was in that place. Time seemed to have no meaning in the swirling chaos of the vortex. Faces and voices blurred together, a constant stream of motivational phrases and promises of wealth. I felt myself being molded, shaped into something else. When I came to, I was sitting at my kitchen table, surrounded by Dream Life products. My phone was in my hand, open to a list of contacts. For a moment, I felt a surge of panic. Something was wrong, terribly wrong. But then a wave of calm washed over me, and I smiled. I had work to do, people to recruit, a team to build. As I dialed the first number on my list, I caught a glimpse of my reflection in the window. For a split second, I saw something dark and hungry looking back at me. But I blinked, and it was gone. Just my imagination, I told myself. After all, I had a business to run. But sometimes in the dead of night, I hear Emma crying in her room. And when I go to check on her, her eyes are wide with terror. "Mommy," she whispers, "why don't you look like you anymore?" I don't know how to answer her. I don't know how much of me is left. All I know is that the pyramid must grow. And I'll do whatever it takes to reach the top. Even now, as I huddle in this motel room, a small part of me knows I should run. But the pull is too strong. The promise is too alluring. I can feel them getting closer, their whispers growing louder. Maybe if I just recruit one more person, I can fix everything. Maybe if I just hit the next rank, I'll be free. Maybe this is all there is now. The door is opening. They found me. It's time to go home. As the door creaked open, I braced myself for the worst. But instead of the nightmarish faces I expected, I saw myself. A perfect copy, right down to the haunted look in my eyes. "Hello, Sarah?" my doppelganger said, her voice a perfect match for my own. "It's time to come home." I scrambled backward, pressing myself against the far wall of the motel room. "Who? What are you?" She smiled, and for a moment her face flickered, revealing something ancient and terrible beneath. "I'm you, Sarah. The you that embraced the pyramid. The you that's waiting at the top." As she spoke, the room began to warp and twist. The walls melted away, revealing an endless expanse of mirrored surfaces. In each reflection, I saw a different version of myself, some successful and radiant, others broken and desperate. "This isn't real," I whispered, squeezing my eyes shut. "It's just another nightmare." My doppelganger laughed, the sound echoing infinitely in the mirrored space. "Oh, Sarah, haven't you realized yet? The nightmare is your reality now." Suddenly, I felt a tugging sensation, as if invisible hooks had lodged themselves in my skin. I was being pulled toward one of the mirrors, its surface rippling like mercury. "No," I screamed, clawing at the floor. "I won't go back. I won't become like you." But it was useless. As I was dragged into the mirror, I caught one last glimpse of my doppelganger. She waved, her smile stretching impossibly wide, revealing row upon row of needle-sharp teeth. "See you at the top, Sarah." I fell through darkness, tumbling end over end until I lost all sense of direction. Voices whispered around me, a cacophony of sales pitches and motivational slogans. Financial freedom is just one recruit away. Dream big, achieve bigger. The pyramid provides for those who believe. I covered my ears, trying to block out the noise, but the voices seemed to come from inside my own head. Finally, I landed hard on a solid surface. As I struggled to my feet, I realized I was standing on a massive pyramid made of writhing, translucent bodies. Thousands upon thousands of people, all reaching upward, their faces contorted in a mixture of agony and ecstasy. At the very top of the pyramid stood a figure shrouded in darkness. Even from this distance, I could feel its gaze boring into me. "Welcome home, Sarah," a voice boomed, shaking the very foundations of this nightmarish realm. "Your ascension begins now." I tried to run, but my feet were stuck fast to the pyramid surface. To my horror, I realized I was sinking into it, the translucent bodies engulfing my legs. "No, please," I begged, struggling against the pull. "I just want to go home. I want to see my daughter." The dark figure atop the pyramid laughed, a sound that sent shivers down my spine. "But Sarah, don't you see? This is your home now. And as for Emma, well, she's already part of the family." The bodies parted, revealing Emma's small form trapped within the pyramid. Her eyes were blank, her mouth moving in a silent chant. "Emma," I screamed, reaching for her. But she didn't seem to hear me. As I sank deeper into the pyramid, I felt my mind beginning to fragment. Memories of my old life slipped away, replaced by an all-consuming desire to climb higher, to recruit more, to feed the ever-growing pyramid. Days, weeks, maybe even years passed. I lost all sense of time as I clawed my way up the pyramid, stepping on and over countless others in my relentless ascent. With each level I climbed, I felt myself changing, becoming less human and more something else. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, I reached the top. The dark figure stood before me, its features hidden beneath a hood. "Congratulations, Sarah," it said, its voice a mixture of every upline manager I'd ever had. "You've reached the pinnacle of success. Are you ready to claim your reward?" I nodded, no longer able to form words. The figure reached up and slowly lowered its hood, revealing nothing. An empty void where a face should be. "Behold the truth of the pyramid," the figure intoned. "Endless striving for a non-existent goal. But don't worry, Sarah. Your journey isn't over. It's only just begun." With a gesture, the figure opened a portal in the air. Through it, I could see the real world, my old neighborhood, the cafe where I'd first met Melissa, the park where I used to play with Emma. "Go forth, Sarah," the figure commanded. "Spread the gospel of dream life. Bring us more souls to feed the pyramid. And remember, you're not just selling a product. You're selling a lifestyle." As I stepped through the portal, I felt the last vestiges of my humanity slip away. I was no longer Sarah, the struggling single mom. I was something new, something hungry. I found myself standing on a suburban street, identical houses stretching as far as the eye could see. In each window, I could see people hunched over computers, desperately trying to make sales and recruit new members. With a smile that was just a bit too wide, I straightened my dream life blazer and approached the nearest house. As I rang the doorbell, I felt the pyramid's power thrumming through me. The door opened, revealing a tired-looking woman with a baby on her hip. "Hi there," I chirped, my voice unnaturally bright. "I'm Sarah, and I have an amazing opportunity to share with you. How would you like to be your own boss and achieve financial freedom?" The woman's eyes glazed over, and I knew I had her. Another soul for the pyramid. As I launched into my well-rehearsed pitch, I caught a glimpse of my reflection in the window. For a moment, I saw my true form, a writhing mass of shadows with too many teeth and eyes that glowed with an unholy light. But I blinked, and it was gone. Just another devoted dream life representative, spreading the good word. The pyramid must grow, and I am its most faithful servant. Months passed, and my recruitment numbers soared. I became a legend within Dream Life, breaking records and ascending to ranks previously thought impossible. But no matter how high I climbed, the hunger never abated. The pyramid always demanded more. One night, as I sat in my lavish home office, surrounded by awards and photographs of my smiling team, I felt a strange sensation. A tugging at the back of my mind, like a half-forgotten memory trying to surface. I walked to the mirror hanging on the wall, studying my reflection. I looked perfect, designer clothes, flawless makeup, not a hair out of place. But something was off. As I stared, my reflection began to change. The polished exterior melted away, revealing the terrified, desperate woman I used to be. I watched in horror as my past self pounded on the other side of the glass, her mouth open in a silent scream. "Help me," she mouthed. "Don't let them take Emma." Emma. The name stirred something deep within me. A daughter. I had a daughter once, didn't I? Before I could grasp the memory, my phone buzzed. A text from my upline. "Great job on your numbers this month, Sarah. Keep pushing. Remember, there's always room to grow. The pyramid provides." Just like that, the moment of clarity vanished. I smiled at my reflection, once again the picture of dream life success. But that night, for the first time in years, I dreamed. I found myself back in that endless mirrored realm, surrounded by countless versions of myself. Some were broken and defeated, huddled in corners and weeping. Others were monstrous, more shadow than human, their eyes gleaming with predatory hunger. And in the center of it all stood a little girl, Emma. She looked exactly as I remembered her, but her eyes were ancient and filled with sorrow. "Mommy," she said, her voice echoing in the vast space. "It's time to wake up." I felt a jolt, like an electric shock running through my body. Suddenly, I was aware of the wrongness of it all, the endless recruitment, the lives destroyed, the insatiable hunger of the pyramid. "Emma," I whispered, reaching for her. "I'm so sorry. What have I become?" She took my hand, her touch burning like fire and ice. "It's not too late, Mommy. But you have to fight. You have to remember who you really are." The mirrored realm began to shatter, shards of glass raining down around us. I could hear the pyramid screaming, a sound of rage and desperation that threatened to tear reality apart. "Wake up, Mommy," Emma shouted, her voice fading as the dream collapsed. "Wake up." I jolted awake, gasping for air. For a moment, I didn't know where I was. The opulent bedroom felt foreign, the silk sheet suffocating. Then it all came rushing back. Years of memories, both human and other. The people I'd recruited, the lives I'd destroyed, all in service of the insatiable pyramid. "No," I whispered, horrified at what I'd become. "No, no, no." I stumbled to the bathroom, splashing cold water on my face. When I looked in the mirror, I saw the truth, the monstrous form I'd glimpsed so long ago, with too many eyes and a mouth full of needle-sharp teeth. But behind that, faintly visible, was the woman I used to be, the mother who loved her daughter more than anything in the world. In that moment, I made a choice. I would fight. I would find a way to destroy the pyramid, to free all the souls trapped within it. And most importantly, I would find Emma. As if sensing my rebellion, I felt the pyramid's influence trying to reassert itself. Whispers filled my mind, promising wealth and power beyond imagination if I just gave in, if I just recruited one more person. But now that I could see the truth, its hold on me was weakening. I gritted my teeth and pushed back against the whispers. "No more," I growled. "I'm done being your puppet." I grabbed my phone, ready to warn everyone I could about the true nature of dream life. But before I could start typing, it buzzed with an incoming call. The contact name simply read "Upline." For a moment, I hesitated. Then, drawing on a strength I didn't know I possessed, I answered the call. "Hello, Sarah," Janet's sickeningly sweet voice purred. "We need to talk about your recent doubts. Why don't you come to the office for a little motivation session?" I took a deep breath, steeling myself for the fight ahead. "No, Janet. I'm done." and I'm going to make sure everyone knows the truth about dream life." There was a long pause, and when Janet spoke again, her voice had lost all pretense of humanity. It was a guttural growl that sent shivers down my spine. "Oh, Sarah, you can't escape the pyramid. No one ever has." The call ended, and I knew I had to act fast. They would be coming for me soon. I quickly packed a bag, grabbing only the essentials. As I headed for the door, I caught sight of a framed photo on the wall, me surrounded by my smiling downline, all of us wearing Dream Life branded clothing. With a surge of anger, I smashed the frame, cutting my hand on the broken glass. But the pain felt good. It felt real. As I stepped out into the night, I knew the road ahead would be difficult. The pyramid's influence ran deep, its tendrils reaching into every aspect of society. But I had to try. For Emma. For myself. For all the others trapped in this nightmarish scheme. The pyramid had taken everything from me. Now it was time to take it all back. The road stretched out before me, dark and full of uncertainty. But for the first time in years, I felt a glimmer of hope. I am Sarah. I am a mother. I am a survivor. And I will not rest until the pyramid falls.